Text to Ellie. All cats go to heaven. Hi Auntie Joan, have you seen our family lately? What is the name of your book? As a friend of mine and myself would like to order a copy. I must tell you that just recently I was feeding a stray cat that I thought I had a soul connection with, and all was fine until he got run over and died, that we called Hank, and I was very distraught and we wondered if his soul had moved on. Then yesterday when we were spontaneously searching for something to watch on TV, the programs we chose kept crashing, so we decided to watch Ghost Adventures, and my other half said that if there was a ghost cat in it, that his soul had transcended his physical vessel and was saying hello from heaven. And would you believe it, just into the program when they were witnessing a haunting, the name of the building that they were at was called Hank's Hotel. So do you think that is a synchronicity or a mystical experience? And it was Hunk's way of saying that he was okay and living in heaven.
John.
Hi honey, sorry for the late reply and the time of night. Hopefully you have your phone off until the morning, so I don't wake you up if you are asleep. My book is called The Tales on the Sand by Nemo. I don't see our family since the Tracy and Susan split, as I felt sorry for Susan, but I keep meaning to pop up and see Linda as I love her, but we have been bogged down lately, and my fitness is not that good nowadays because of my age. Sorry about Hank, and I believe that it was a synchronicity for sure, and Spirit was letting you know that he is alive in cat heaven. I had a similar experience the other day. I had ordered a record from Ireland the other day called The Piranhas, which was an album from a Bridgetown punk band from my youth that I regretted not buying back in the day, and it was going to take 3 weeks before its arrival in the post that was due on the 23rd, and then on the 17th I dreamt that I was looking for a rare album in my record collection, and when I awoke I knew that it was a precognition, and I told Beatrice that I thought the record was coming today, and it was 3 days earlier than expected, and all day I was on the edge of reason expecting its early arrival, and at 4 o'clock I checked the door, and it was outside in the hallway, which confirmed my subjective perception, and that night I thought that I would search out some rare albums from Bridgetown from the 1970s, so I could play them with my new album, and after an ardent ordeal, I finally found them, and I realized that the dream had been fulfilled. Then, a few days later, I knew that Beatrice was getting some post from London, and I told her to check the door, and she did, and it had just been delivered. Then, last but not least, I was having a conversation with Beatrice, and she told me that she thought that Hugh Jackman was a handsome man because she had seen him in Les Miserables, where she saw beyond his chiseled looks. I had an intuitive feeling that she should look at a Tolstoy book called Anna Katerina, which I didn't have a clue that was on our shelf because we had found it dumped in the street. And we took it home, but I had forgotten about it, and I told her to look at it by feeling a specific page, like when you cut the tarots, and she did, and so she did, and it's a thick book, and when she opened it, it was a woman saying that she admired a man who had chiseled looks, and we were awestruck by the experience. So, I think that your synchronicity was real, and sometimes life can be stranger than fiction. So Hank, or Spirit, was definitely showing you that he was okay, and living in the light. My 5 books are in my spoken word section that are The Tales on the Sand, The Spiritual Diary of John Donne, The Symposium, The Evolution of Consciousness, and The Way to Harmony that I turned into spoken word videos, of which only the first book was published in print. I hope that I haven't awoken you. If you are asleep and that you receive it in a decent hour in the morning, that's fantastic news about Tony, and we are very happy that you guys are doing great. Hi honey, how's everything going with you guys lately? All good, we hope. You know, I have just finished listening to Donald Hoffman's reality. He says that we are in a simulated world, and that we are really part of a one consciousness that is fundamental, and through a series of Markov chains, which simply means that things change from one form to another, and we eventually render a program that through perception create the illusion of our neurons that represents our perception that we are us, and that he says in the future that we will be able to change reality by stepping back from ourselves and reality and recreate or reconstruct our universe and ascend reality into what we wish to see or be. Basically, we are just a computational system that thinks we are us, and reality is an illusion and nothing else. And when we die, we just take off the headset that was created from the Markov chains, and we are absorbed into the one consciousness or our non-existence. You know, these are the latest assumptions of scientific minds and nothing else. That they correlate with Eastern philosophy from their mystical discoveries that they got from meditation way back is only a coincidence and not a reality. So for them, science and Eastern philosophy nowadays are one, and the same thing apart from that the Eastern religions don't agree that we can step back from the program and create our own reality as we see fit. Now, I personally value that we are in a simulation that has been created from this one consciousness, so that it doesn't have to be alone in a vision that it had at the dawn of creation, which marked the beginning of time and space, and that this simulation that we are immersed in is a pathway where we, the God seeds, transcend the simulation with our individual and one souls to create eternal matter, spiritual consciousness, or heaven, so that the one consciousness doesn't have to be one consciousness all alone, but a supernatural consciousness that is made up from our experiences and our environments that we have created from the simulation. Basically, God, or the one consciousness through our souls that are individual and one free, immortal spirit self-actualized gods, or the one consciousness's precognitive awareness of heaven that we all hold in our hearts and souls, and God. Heaven and all life can come together so the fundamental, or one consciousness, can have all the Etherians in a world that transcends the simulation, and God doesn't have to be on its own, and or in non-existence, or just its own self-awareness. We are like a game of trivia pursuit where we begin with our empty pie vessel and the pie holder at the start, and that we throw the die, and we move up and down the board answering questions that if we get right begin to, and or eventually fill the pie holder. And once the pie holder is full to complete the game, or our karma, we re-enter the center of the board by the throw of the die or probability, and answer the final question. And then our karma is complete when we answer the final question. And complete the game by becoming gods, or individual and one free immortal beings as one with all and everything, and we complete the game. Just food for thought for all the vessels that are playing the game of life in the simulation, because if we can simulate ourselves in this world, then why can't we simulate ourselves in a simulation of heaven that we all hold dear in our hearts, minds, our God selves or souls? In a nutshell, if we can simulate ourselves and our reality or our world, then why can't we simulate ourselves in heaven and our and God's precognition, potential, or the future? Because if you were God or the one consciousness, wouldn't you wish that too? Basically, all cats go to heaven. Enough said. Have a great day today. Lots of love, guys.